Hey, I know this is just summer league, but you have to be impressed with what Ricky Council Fourth did. Also, Jared McCain, right? Justin Edwards, we just want to see him a little bit more
Mm-hmm.
aggressive on the offensive end. But we'll talk about those things and more next on Locked On 76ers.
You are Locked On 76ers, your daily Philadelphia 76ers podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thank you for making Locked On 76ers your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcast and on YouTube. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. As playoffs wind down, the sports stop sporting like we want them to. But this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus daily. That's right. There's something for everyone, every day, all summer long. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. Hello, I'm Keith Pompey, and this is my right-hand man, John Mitchell. We are the co-hosts of Locked On 76ers. We got a lot to talk about, just like we teased early. We're going to talk about Ricky Council the Fourth in the first segment. The second segment is going to be Jared McCain. And the third one is going to be on Justin Edwards. These three guys. This is the Salt Lake City Summer League edition. Now, excuse me, but I'm away at a volleyball tournament on the West Coast, and I just wanted to find a quiet spot in this room. So forgive me the corner view, but this is what we're doing today.
Cornered like a rat, Keith.
Huh?
You cornered like a rat, bro.
Correct. I just don't want to wake people up because you all know it's early in the morning.
Yeah.
In the morning. So I just don't want to wake people up, and I don't want to go outside this room to where y'all hear all this noise. So forgive the background. But Mitch, Ricky Council the Fourth was a guy who, and this is the thing that's good for some of these young guys. He was a guy last year who really, at this point in time, didn't really announce himself.
Right.
Oh, he was known as an athlete and athletic, and you were expecting them to do dunks and everything. But he really didn't stand out. It was a guy Turk Smith did. There was some other guys, older guys who did, but he was just there. And he worked, and now you look at him, and he's like, I know this is Summer League, but he's shown that he can be a guy that can get regular rotation minutes on a consistent basis for the Sixers. Last night, the 76ers, they opened up the Salt Lake City Summer League, and they won 102 to 92, defeating the Oklahoma City Thunder. And my man had a crazy stat line. He had 29 points on 9 for 18 shooting. He made 5 of 10 threes. He made 6 or 7 free throws. He had 8 rebounds. He had 1 assist. And he had a block, right? He did have 2 turnovers, but oh well, some things happen, right? He really played his tail off, Mitch. I mean, he looked like he shouldn't have been playing against these dudes. He looked like a grown man against boys at certain times. And that's what really impressed me. And then, we look at it in the second half, he scored 24 of his points in the second half. With 19 of them coming in the quarter, right? He was like Ricky the takeover.
Yeah.
So the dude was balling.
Salt Lake City takeover.
Salt Lake City takeover. He played what? He played 10 minutes, 10 of the 12 minutes in the fourth. He looked good, man. He looked good.
Yeah, I think the thing that really impressed me was the 3-point shooting. 5 for 10. He looked very comfortable out there taking them. He looked good. I mean, we know what he can do in transition. But it was almost like Ricky Council was sending the message that I really don't to the 76ers, like, look, yeah, I think you all know what I can do. I have a good idea. I do support the Sixers having him out there. I think it's good because, he did have his moments. That's undeniable, but he's a young player. He's a young player, and teams often do that with young players. They get them back to the summer league, and what you could see was that he felt, if anything, you could see more confidence from him. We saw a lot of confidence from Ricky Council Jr., Ricky Council the fourth last season. The moments never seemed like they felt too big for him. And obviously, this is a Salt Lake City Summer League. You play in front of a half-empty arena, but you wanted to see the progression. And again, the thing that impressed me the most, Keith, was the 3-point shooting, man. He went to the basket. He smashed home a beautiful dunk in the game. And it was clear that, you have guys who are rookies here. You have guys who have seen some minutes in the NBA. But Ricky Council looks like he's like, hey, I'm ready to advance my NBA career. And that's kind of the statement I think he was sending last night. Obviously, good thing is we'll get a chance to see him again. And, we can make further assessments on what he had, on where his progression is. But I liked what I saw from him, man. I saw a guy who was with leadership, a guy who was kind of like, hey, this is, I've done this before and I belong here. But yeah, I mean, again, and the 3-point shooting was an added bonus because, a lot of them were completely open looks, but that's not his fault. That's the fault of other guys who are trying to get some run in the NBA that played for the Oklahoma City Thunder, So I like what I saw from him. I think overall, I think it was a good look for him. And for some other guys that were out there that, we're curious in seeing what they bring to the table.
Yeah. And the thing about him, I like about him is like, let's face it. Now, his brother, his dad played ball. His brothers played ball. 2 of them played at a high level.
Mm-hmm.
His sister played college ball too, right? Yeah. So they were good. But the thing I like about him is, we talk about 2 dudes we're going to talk about, and then later on, who were McDonald's All-Americans. Well, he wasn't. Talking about Jared McCain and Justin Edwards.
Mm-hmm.
Ricky was a guy who, he went to, and he grew up in Durham. He went to this high school called Southern School of Energy and Sustainability, right? Now, he was like a 3rd-team All-State performer as a senior, and he averaged 23 points. But he ended up committing to Wichita State because that was by far his best offer over schools like Rice, Appalachian State, Elon, Hofstra, University of Maryland, Baltimore County, Georgia Southern, Siena, James Madison, and Coastal Carolina, right? So he goes to Wichita State, and he averages 7.1 points, 3.4 rebounds, and was named like American Athletic Conference All-Rookie Team. And then so what happens is he ends up transferring, and he ends up transferring to Arkansas. Now at this point, he had other major Power 5 offers. Mm-hmm. So he transfers to Arkansas over Kansas, Alabama, Georgia Tech, Mississippi State, and Iowa State. Now, this was his junior year when he did this. So then he goes into the draft. Everybody's telling him that he's going to be drafted. He's going to be a first-round pick. They all hear that, right?
Mm-hmm.
He enters the draft and goes undrafted. So to me, this is a guy who basically, is like, he works hard, he does whatever, he's overcoming obstacles. Nothing's handed to him. So when you see him go out there and be the beast and be the guy, and you're saying to yourself, like, yo, man, he shouldn't be out here. Like, he's a ringer. He shouldn't, like, I'm talking about in the summer league. Like, he's like, yo, he's a ringer. Like, nah, he got the cheat code. Like, nah, y'all can't play this dude. He's too good. Not enough competition. That says a lot about his work ethic, man. It does. I mean, he goes from being the American Athletic Conference sixth man of the year as a sophomore. He wasn't even starting to a second team All SEC as a junior to undrafted to now looking good. To me, that says a lot about this young man's work ethic, and should be a role model to a lot of kids to know that you can work hard. Like, a lot of people want to be like Tyrese Maxey, which is great.
You want to have it instantly.
Yeah, you want to have, but that Maxey was a McDonald's.
Right.
This is a guy that shows you don't have to be the man to still be on that journey to make it. This is what hard work is all about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, good for our guy Ricky Council Jr., man. Ricky Council the fourth, man. He and again he looked good last night. He showed his skills, and if he's going to continue this climb up the rough side of the mountain, that's kind of old school, and I could appreciate that. And we can talk about the summer league a little bit more when we get back from this break. Right now, I want to talk to you about BetterHelp. And, sometimes you go through these moments and, you're not feeling good internally. You start looking at your life and making comparisons with yourself and others. But I think people should know that comparison is the thief of joy, and it's easy to envy other people's lives. It might look like they have it all together on their Instagram and on all their social, but in reality, they probably don't. And you know what? Therapy can help you focus on what you want instead of what others have, so you can start living your very best life. So tell me, if you're thinking about starting therapy, you should give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online. It's designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. And all you have to do is fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched up with a licensed therapist. And if you want to, you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. So stop comparing and start focusing with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/LockedOnNBA today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/LockedOnNBA. So tell me, are you watching Fox Sports or ESPN on your TV all day? Do you have to turn down the volume with all that shouting? Well, you should make the switch to Locked On Sports today, a free 24/7 sports streaming channel programmed for you every day to bring you the biggest stories without all the screaming. Locked On Sports Today brings you can't-miss analysis, opinions, and news streaming 24/7 on YouTube or the free Amazon Fire TV channels app, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every single day.
So we talked about, Ricky Council, and now we're going to talk about my man, Jared McCain, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the thing about Jared is a lot of people, it's funny. A lot of people were, hey man, what's up with Bull? Like, I'm looking at this dude with the painted fingernails.
Yeah.
He better be able to play. He better do this. He better do that. And I kept saying, look, man, this dude plays hard. Just give him time. Just give him time. Like stop the bull. Stop, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's funny. From the scouts that I talked to and league executives, they all told me the dude plays hard.
Mm-hmm.
And they all felt like, there was better options that could have been better for the Sixers.
Right.
Dalton Connect and things like that.
Yeah.
But more so than him. But they said that McCann does play hard. And that's what you're going to get from him. So I'm just going to give you a rundown of, like, we look at this guy and we say to ourselves, like, yo, he a TikTok machine. He's, that's all he cares about. Okay, so in high school, the guy had a 4.0 grade point average, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was a 3-time CFI California, or state, whatever federation. He was open division champion 3 times. He was USA 18 and under gold medalist. He was a Nike EYBL MVP. He was a CFL Open Division state champ, 2-time Gatorade Player of the Year. The best named his junior and senior year, he was named the best player in the state of California. That's what it is. He was a 2-time CIF Open Division Player of the Year. So that he won his class and the overall. McDonald's All-American, and John Wooden High School National Player of the Year.
Wow.
Right?
I didn't know.
So, yeah, a lot of people. We just look at him and we see the TikToks.
Yeah.
Well, here's the deal. He didn't shoot the ball well yesterday. But he
Not from deep.
Yeah. Not from deep. Yeah, not from deep. So 15 points on 6 for 5 shoot, 6 for 15 shooting overall. He was 0 for 6 on threes. He made 3 of 5 foul shots. He had 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and 1 turnover in 27 minutes and 24 seconds. So when you look at it, boy, he was balling in a way. Like, he showed you that if his shot isn't falling, he can still play hard and contribute in other ways.
Right.
And on the defensive end, those 2 steals and those rebounds, to me, were huge. And we're talking about on a night when his shot wasn't falling.
Right.
From deep. So the guy who told me that, he plays tough and this guy can play, man. He can play. So now, like, granted, we all look at him in Philly and talk about the TikToks and all this other stuff. But that's just a part of him. When he gets on that court, he's going to show you what he can do. And he did that a little bit. Now, again, it's a summer league. And, and the shot thing doesn't really bother me because, Mitch, you've been covering this league longer than I have. A lot of these dudes, these really good dudes, first-round picks, they don't play ball like that after the season up until the draft. So, like, they're going to be a little rusty. You know what I mean? So, like, that can impact the shot and stuff like that. But the fact that he was able to show you what he can do when he's not making shots was impressive to me.
Yeah, I was impressed. And there was some time, because my biggest curiosity, he's not going to kill it. He's not going to blow anybody away with his athleticism. But one of the things I do like is that, they were able to put him on the ball a little bit more than I thought he would. And, there was times when they got in the half court where he was looking to direct traffic, put guys in the right place. And, you can kind of, when he plays, you can almost kind of see him thinking the game in his mind. I didn't really know what to expect. I heard the knocks on him that he wasn't very good defensively. But again, he had the 2 steals last night. He always keeps his head up and down court. And like you said, the shot, even though he was 0 for 6 from the 3-point line, I'm not worried about his shot right now because that's the one thing that he can do. So the shot will come. But all in all, it was a decent outing for him. And like you said, because he wasn't shooting the ball well throughout the game, because he started off, he made some shots early on, then it got a little bit more difficult for him. And he found other areas to make contributions in, which is good to see. So, and that's what I'm looking for out of him, because when they bring him in, you obviously know he's coming off the bench this season. And when he comes in, you're going to want to see him. He's only 6'2", and I do think he's going to be on the ball more with the 76ers, who are still looking for point guards. But I think he's going to be on the ball a little bit more than he was at Duke. and he's going to be, they're going to call on him to obviously knock down some open shots. But, he does play hard, and he comes from a winning tradition. Like all those accolades that you read, Keith, I was not aware that he had been as successful. I mean, for him to wind up at Duke, for him to wind up at Duke, you knew he had to be nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you had to. And, you raised a great point because he was a point guard in high school, and they took him on. He was a combo guard in the pros. At Duke. What I'm talking about, man. Just the pros. But
the
deal is
third now, so.
but the deal is, you are right. They got a lot of wings, man. Like they got a lot of like 2-3s. So you need somebody who can also have a background in handling the ball. And we look at it, he is an undersized guy. So comparable. He can be that guy to where he can come off the bench. He can come off the bench. He could be some backup point guard for you. He can do things if he, continues to show what he can do with a leadership standpoint. So it is what it is. And I wouldn't be shocked if Jeff Dalton could be a guy that they could probably bring back on a minimum. But we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see. We'll see about that one. We'll definitely see about that one. But all more power to him. I like the guy a lot. I like his game a lot, and I like the toughness that he brings to me. So I know everybody want to talk about the fingernails and TikToks and the bonnets and all that other stuff, but that, like, if that's what you want to say, he ain't sweet now. His game isn't sweet.
Yeah, he works. He works. You can when he's on the floor, his demeanor is serious. You can see that. We'll talk about a guy who might be his teammate at this level when we get back from talking about FanDuel. Listen, I love my sports, and I love them so much that I never want them to stop. But the NBA playoffs are going, so I'm watching a little bit more WNBA. But bottom line is, we're just getting fewer games, and the sports aren't sporting like I want them to. But FanDuel lets me keep the sports going whenever I want. All I have to do is open the app and dream up bets anytime I'm in the mood. And this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus daily. That's right. There's something for everyone every day, all summer long. So head over to FanDuel.com and start making the most out of your summer. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball.
So listen, I'm just going to say this, and maybe I'm talking too much, but before we get into Justin Edwards, I just want to let y'all know where I'm at. So I'm in Vegas. I'm not in Vegas like for USA basketball. So I'm not at the Utah Summer League. I'm in Vegas. My daughter's volleyball team qualified for nationals, right? So I just want to say this. And Akbar, if you're listening, I'm just going to tell you this. So what we did is we went on Sunday to a WNBA game. We went to go see the Las Vegas Aces play the Dallas Wings, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mitch, let me tell you. So I've been to a WNBA game before. I went to one before years ago when I was in Phoenix for a story. And one of my buddies was like, yo, you ain't got nothing to do. Let's go to this game. I like, all right, bet. It was all right. Just all right. Just all right. So when my daughter was like, let's go to this game, I was like, okay, you really want to go? Okay. So first of all, I'm like, man, these tickets expensive, dude. Like, they like NBA type tickets.
Wow.
But bro, we went in there. We had pretty good seats though, but it was like an investment. So we go in there, and I don't know if it was because it was the Aces and it was in Las Vegas, but this game was fire, dude. The atmosphere was off the chain. It was like everybody was there. It was like a who's like in there. They were honoring former players like in the organization. Asia Jones is the truth. All of them, like all their stars was like shining bright, and the game was competitive. And you looked at the girls on the other team were the women. Both their centers was 6'7" and a legit 245. I'm talking about they was huge, but they weren't like they were solid. In the game, the physical, so I'm just saying, like, I don't know what it was like.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it's like anywhere else, but here and it's in Mandalay Bay. So it's like you gotta go to the casino and get in there. So you got all these people coming. Mitch, it was good, man. It was really good. It was really good. So I mean, I'm just saying, you talked about it. So it was one of those things where I just want to let people know, like, it was a good product.
You saw the defending champs, man, and they're starting to develop a head of steam now, So
yeah, they look good though. Asia Jones.
Asia Wilson, right?
Asia Wilson.
I mean, I was watching last year, and I'm definitely gonna watch the playoffs. I watched the whole thing.
And then they got so many players, man. They got so many, like, and then the Kate Martin from, oh man, I love her. One girl tried to like do something, Kate just shoved her back, and like, oh, and she outside. I mean, she a legit 6 foot, but they some big girls, man. It's some big girls, and this tournament is crazy. It's like a who's who, like the volleyball tournament. Everybody's there, but they got 2 girls on her volleyball team. One girl is 6'1", the other one is my daughter. The other one's 6'3", and we were playing yesterday. They were playing yesterday, and the one who's 6'3", I mean, they going to be freshmen.
Wow.
And let's just say she earned it. She probably going to get an offer from Rutgers. That's how good she, and then Arizona State, the whole 9. But I mean, it's legit. But sorry about that, y'all. He was talking about, FanDuel, and I just felt like,
he felt compelled to talk about that WNBA, but man, people falling in line with that sport, man.
It wasn't the Indiana Fever, or it wasn't the Chicago team. Right. It was like Dallas and the real squad. I'm talking about the champions. But here's the thing. To get back on track, Justin Edwards he's one of those guys that you look at, and he has the tools and he has the talent. Mm-hmm. But he's also like a parent, like me, saying to like my daughter or another parent saying, you know what? We all know you got it. You just got to be a little bit more aggressive.
Right.
And at times, let's face it, at times it's one of those things where, you're looking at it. He's in a situation where I'm a two-way player right now. And they got McCain. They have Ricky Council. They have all these other players. But I just feel like he has the skill set. He just has to be more aggressive. Now, I will say his plus minus was pretty good, really good. Like, what was he? He was a
plus 11, I think it was.
He was a plus 11, which was the best in the game.
Yeah,
the best in the game, But he only got 2 shots. He had 2 turnovers. He had as many turnovers as shot attempts. He didn't score a point. He had 1 steal. He had an assist. He had 1 rebound. And the thing is, when you look at it, I get it. If you're not going to score points, you did have a steal, but you got to get those rebounds up. You got to do other things. He just has to be, in my opinion, just a little bit more aggressive. Now, again, when you look at the starters, he played 6 fewer minutes than any other starter. Like Bona had played 24 minutes, 12 seconds. He played 18 minutes.
Yeah.
So he wasn't out there as much as the other ones. Like where you had Council played 28. You had Jeff Doughton played 27. You had McCain played 27. But he just has to be a little bit more aggressive, in my opinion.
Yeah, because he was the only guy who played that didn't score. And he had 18 minutes out there. And again, but he is. I mean, he is at an inflection point in his career. He is, and it's early. I know it's early, but that was kind of his thing in Kentucky. All the other high school All Americans he showed up there with, and he was not aggressive, and that's what he was. He was touted as a guy, 6'7" guy, with the wing capabilities, who could score, who could, kind of like a baby Paul George, but he's going to have to get himself in shape. And like you said, he was kind of had his head on a swivel last night. He's going to have to be more aggressive moving forward than he was last, and I think he will, but he's going to step in line quickly, because a year ago when he was leaving Imhotep, people were saying, yeah, he's a lottery pick, and now he's in NBA no man's land.
And that's what it is. So
Yep.
We'll see. That's a guy. He has the tools. He has the talents. We'll just see how it works out for him. But he just has to be a little bit more aggressive. He has to be a little bit more aggressive, and he's going to get opportunities to be, get some minutes in the G League and all that, from reps. But he just has to be a little bit more aggressive. So, but look, y'all, we want to thank y'all for listening. But before we go, I want to talk to y'all about, Locked On. And Locked On has launched the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube. And now it's also available on Amazon Fire TV in the free Fire TV channels app. Locked On Sports Today is here for you 24/7, covering the top sports stories of the day with the local experts of Locked On Plus, our national shows covering every league. Find Locked On Sports Today, now available on the free Fire TV channels app. So for my man Mitch, this is Keith. I want to say peace and have a great one.
Peace, y'all.
Peace, y'all.